811. Online at aspenbuildersinc.com. Your home is waiting at Aspen Builders.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com.
On the internet.
KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket.
If you're seeking a career with a growing company, Gaina Trucking and Excavating is hiring and looking for additions to their team. Gaina Trucking has a strong team culture, competitive pay, 401ks, and benefits like health, dental, and vision. Drivers are guaranteed 40 hours per week, even in the winter months, and are home every night. Start your career today at Gaina Trucking and Excavating. Apply today at GainaTrucking.com.
Do you want boots that actually feel good on your feet? Meindl delivers premium German-engineered comfort, brought to you right here from Nebraska. Built tough for trails, fields, and everyday wear, and backed by Meindl's Comfort Promise, so you can try them on with confidence. Use promo code THETICKET at MeindlUSA.com, spelled MEINDL, for free shipping. That's MeindlUSA.com. Meindl, comfort you have to feel to believe.
What's better than supporting your favorite radio station and eating delicious Nebraska-made products? Smoking Gun Jerky of Nebraska wants to highlight you, the listener, on the 93.7 The Ticket Wall of Fame at the store. Stop by the store at 48th and R in Lincoln and see their huge variety of small batch gourmet jerky. Or if you're not in the area and want to try some, go to SmokingGunJerky.com and enter code EARLY for 10% off your purchase. It's the ultimate low-calorie, high-protein snack at Smoking Gun Jerky of Nebraska.
Hello, Husker fans. Stop into Zollner Ford Beatrice for all your automotive needs. Whether new or used, car, truck, crossover, SUV, or EV, we've got them. Shop our ever-changing specials at ZollnerofBeatrice.com or give us a call today and go Big Red. We are Zollner Ford Beatrice, Nebraska's volume dealer with the hometown service you expect.
This is your year, where your team takes it all the way. Win way more than bragging rights at Warhorse Casino, where your love of the game could put $1 million in your pocket. The Pro Football Frenzy is free to play with prizes all season long. Weekly cash prizes up to $1,000 cash, season-long leaderboards, and a chance to win $1 million. Only at Warhorse Casino. Wagers may only be placed on Nebraska-based teams when played outside the state of Nebraska. Must be 21 or older to gamble. Gambling problem? Call 1-833-BET-OVER.
Midwest Bank is hosting our annual Thanksgiving food drive, partnering with local Lincoln schools to provide Thanksgiving dinners to families in need. We hope to provide meals for more than 120 families in our community this year. You can help by dropping off a donation at either Midwest Bank location, 7001 Pioneers Boulevard or 2655 Jamie Lane. Any donation is greatly appreciated. Your community, your bank, Midwest Bank, member FDIC.
Anderson Ford in Lincoln has 2 convenient locations, which means 2 times the customer service, 2 times the inventory, and 2 times the ability to get you in the car of your dreams. Whether you visit us on the north side or the south side, you'll find more selection and a team that's always on your side. When you're looking for a better way to buy your next Ford, visit Anderson Ford in Lincoln, where exceptional service meets unbeatable selection.
Rashawn Jackson here for Bauer Infrastructure, a veteran-owned local company proudly serving Lincoln, Lancaster County, and the surrounding areas. Bauer provides quality work at an affordable price, and they're growing rapidly. If you want to experience a career with a fast-paced, family-friendly environment, visit BauerInfrastructure.com. They have top-of-the-line benefits, year-round work, even through the winter. Bauer, usher in the new era of infrastructure to an area near you. And as always, go Big Red!
John Henry's has a brand new membership club to protect your entire home in one program. With a VIP and a deluxe option, we will help you find the plan that best fits your needs. Receive discounts on services and equipment, priority service, complimentary inspections, and so much more. Protect your home's plumbing, heating, cooling, and electrical systems all in one membership. Call John Henry's to learn more.
435-5555. John Henry's Plumbing, Heating and Air,
and Electrical.
Prepare for the Maximum Fun Tour. A day to remember. Yellow card.
Oracle Bank Arena, Friday, October 31st. Special guests, The Wonder Years and Dinosaur Pileup. Tickets on sale now at Ticketmaster.com. The Maximum Fun Tour, a day to remember. Yellow Card.
Welcome to The Drive with Aaron Davis and Nick Sainert. Former football national champion, speaker, and author Aaron Davis.
Pain is a teacher if you use it. And the lessons in the carnage of pain sometimes are elusive. They hide, they're stealth. The work is finding the lessons through the pain. There's always a message in the mess. Depends on if we want to get dirty and look for it.
Nick Sainert.
Driving left side is Boyer, picks up his dribble, looking for some help, decides to go up strong with it, and the layup will rattle home. Jack Riley picks the pocket of BJ Bradford up the floor to Jack Hostrider. Watch out! Mafisi in the lane, kicks it out. 3-ball, Townsley, right wing, it's good!
Sponsored by Doors Plus on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Welcome in. It is The Drive, 93.7 The Ticket, theticketfm.com. Nick Sainert with you as usual. Once again, no AD today, tomorrow. He's back on Friday as he continues his speaking engagement tour around the state of South Dakota. And so yesterday was joined by Bach and Terrell Farley for the 2-hour show. Today and tomorrow, it is my good friend, Austin Orman. Austin, good morning. It's always a blast to do shows. We don't get to do them together that often, but man, oh man, when we do, there's usually a little bit of fire in our bellies, and I think that's true to say today.
Oh, absolutely. There are conversations that need to be had. There are conversations that have been waiting to be had, and unlike your co-host yesterday, I'm built for the 2-hour grind.
Whoa! I now two box defense. I only asked him to do an hour. I only asked him. I said, Bach, can you please cover 9 to 10 with me? And then Terrell, because I wanted a little Bach in the black shirt crossover.
It makes sense. It makes sense.
On the program yesterday. And then today, obviously, we have old school with Foreman and Orman crossover. Jay is not going to be making an appearance, at least scheduled appearance. You never know where he could just drop in.
Thank goodness.
So
hopefully Jay made it back all right. Haven't heard from him.
I can confirm. I heard yesterday afternoon that he had made it back.
Excellent.
So
quick visit.
It was a quick visit.
Okay, Jay.
So exciting things going on. Jay is going for maybe he doesn't want me sharing this. I'll share it anyway. Because it's a good thing. Is his son Grant is going through the college selection process, and so there's a lot of college visits being had and being taken for the Foreman family. So with that being said, though, 402-464-5685, the Honda of Lincoln hotline and the Starter Heyman text line are open for you guys the entire show. I was telling Austin that yesterday there were so many thoughts on the text line that I put my hand up in admitting fault that I probably didn't use it and didn't include the text line enough yesterday. There was a lot that I wanted to get to, but then Bach and I would just go off on random tangents and we weren't able to work the text into the conversation. And so today I told Austin, I said, I want to make sure I do a better job of that. 402-464-5685, because despite it being, almost a week removed from Nebraska's loss to Minnesota, we got to talk to Matt Rule on Monday. Obviously, we got to hear from the coordinators yesterday. And Austin, there's a lot of concerning things that I think we heard. And we have to play this game and walk this fine line, I think, of like overreacting because it's what they said in the moment. And did they really mean every little detail it sounds like? And that on one side. And then the other side is like not overreacting. Nebraska's still 5-2. If they win on Saturday, they're bowl eligible. Things are not sinking quite yet.
Yeah. Let me just ask you, what was the most concerning thing you heard over the last 48-ish hours?
I will say this, and I think it kind of goes hand in hand. Matt Rule on Monday talking about how he struggled to get the coordinators and assistant coaches to buy into whatever the game planner was or however he specifically phrased it. And then the quote from John Butler yesterday that I can certainly play here, it was this one, the explosive play catching John Butler off guard.
We started off pretty strong the first two drives, got into a decent rhythm, and then after that explosive run, that probably affected me more than it should, and it shouldn't. every play has its own life. So what's going to happen on the next play is not about what has happened on the previous play. So kind of a what's next mentality. I've got to stick to the plan and say, regardless of what happened on the previous play, we still got to approach the game with an aggressive mentality. A little bit of a learning experience for, I think, all of us. But
that was the most concerning comment, I think, out of any of the coordinators that I got, because we talk about, okay, coaches and the game plan going into the week, and that's part one. Mm-hmm. Part two is the players got to go out and execute. And this week, I've been pretty critical of the players. I've especially the ones on each side of the lines. Mm-hmm. I've been pretty critical of like, okay, yeah, there's Donovan Raiola is getting a lot of flack for everything, and maybe rightfully so. But at some point, like Austin, I was there, you were watching the game, like you could just feel that they didn't want to be there. And then you hear Luke Lindenmeyer talk about how, yeah, you know what, there were some things that popped up early in the week last week, and I wish I would have said some stuff. Well, why, you can't do this regret mentality. You cannot operate that way. And then in a point of it as well, and this is a point I've made all week, is this all goes back to Matt Rule because he's the head coach, because he is in charge of who is hired. Mm-hmm. He is in charge of who calls defensive plays, who game plans defensively. And he has tabbed John Butler in this role, to be in this role. And if this is happening in week 7, this cannot happen. Like this cannot be the reaction. And so like the part that really bothered me is the whole like, yeah, you know, this is a learning experience for me. This is not an entry-level job. No. Like this is the Nebraska, to be a Nebraska coach, coordinator, head coach. This is not a job to where it's like, well, you know what, we can learn from last week, and I need to learn about myself as defensive coordinator. No, the assistant pool that you're getting to pay some of these coaches, it should not be a, well, look, we might know that you're maybe not ready for the job, but by after one season with us, you'll be ready. This is not a learning curve job. This is a come in, perform, produce results, and if you need to move on to be a head coach or a D coordinator somewhere else, you that's fine. But this is not a job to where it's like, well, you know what, we're going to give them time to learn about it.
It should be a crown jewel job for the majority of most coaches, I guess, in college football. But for John Butler, it's his second time calling plays. For example, just because he's the one we're talking about. Did it a little bit at Penn State, or was it Penn State?
It was.
Yeah, it was Penn State. Yep. And then now he's at Nebraska after being in the NFL for a while. The part that stands out to me about all of that from John Butler was he preached all offseason when he was officially hired and throughout the early going, I'm aggressive. We're going to be aggressive. I'm going to press that button. You know, I'm going to be in your face. At least that was the narrative.
Yeah.
He said it. Matt Rule said it. That was the vibe we got from his previous stop at Penn State and how his secondaries played in Buffalo. So for him to come out and say, I got punched in the face and I didn't know how to respond. You know, I'm not a sheep, but I had a sheep moment. Okay, it happens to everyone. But why now? Why that game of all games? And it makes even less sense to me, Nick, in light of Nebraska's inconsistencies along the defensive line.
Absolutely.
An injured-ish linebacking core, especially with Shavers, right? Watson Trent played more. And John Butler's comments from last week, we found the effort mentality. We play better that way. And the fact that you believe the secondary is the strength of your team against the Minnesota team with guys who are on scholarship but should not beat Nebraska in the wide receiver room. All that should lead a defensive coordinator to believe that our best chance to win this game is to continue to be aggressive. Let me trust my corners one-on-one on the outside. They will hold up.
Yeah.
Let me trust my safeties, one of them in run support, one of them playing his deep third or his deep half, whatever it is. I trust my linebackers to be more athletic than their running backs out in space. And that just wasn't the case. So you, John Butler, did not live up to who you told fans, and I believe the head coach in your quasi-job interview that you were, the head coach that you convinced to some degree, whether it was through meetings or your secondaries play last year, to all but push your previous defensive coordinator out the door. You know, again, that's still up in the air for what happened. But, I mean, John Butler took over for Tony White. And we heard rumblings of some conversations, some friction between Matt Rule and Tony White, and who knows what all led into that. But it's the risk reward button that you would think a guy like John Butler would be more comfortable pressing. That, okay, yeah, you burned us this one time with a 71-yard run. You burned us this one time with a pass over the top. But the point of me blitzing more often than other coordinators is playing the odds, is playing the fact that you might beat us on this play, but we'll win 4 out of the other 5.
Especially early in the game.
Yeah.
Like to have that. So, I mean, the play that he's directly referenced was the 71-yard touchdown run by Darius Taylor. To have that alter and basically, I don't want to say scare you, but in a way scare you, make you more reserved on the decisions you make as a play caller defensively. So early in the game, when you look up on the scoreboard and it's 7-6, is mind-boggling to me.
Yeah,
it is.
It's inexcusable.
It is not a blowout.
No.
It was not a blowout. And so, this is where, John and Cortland just said, my view on this: shut up and coach, players play. And we're getting a lot of the players need to play better. This is what I would say though: the players in that room and in every room in sports take on the identity of their coach. And if they're noticing, these are all high-level IQ D1 football players that understand, have studied the game. They're aware of the game plan, what it was going into it. If they recognize that, hey, maybe coach is backing off a little bit. What does this mean? If they recognize that John Butler has lost the aggressive mindset in that game, what do you expect the players to do? Obviously, it's easy for us to sit there and go, well, they just need to play better. They need to be more aggressive no matter what. The guy that's the leader in that room just admitted that he was not as aggressive as he wanted to be, or as aggressive as he should have been, and he acknowledges it. Now, if Coach Butler truly believes that, or if he has to say that to kind of back up and reiterate what Coach Rule said on Monday, which either way, it does not matter. And the same goes for Dana Holgorsen, right? Like on the other side, because Dana Holgorsen's certainly not scot-free in this whole conversation either. But if for 1 minute, like, this is where we have to remember the guys in the room, the athletes, and the other side of it is you can look on special teams. They take on the identity and how their coach views it. Like they take on the identity of their coach in that room. We see what special teams is, and we see what Mike Eckler, how he operates on a daily basis. John Butler just admitted to us that he felt like he was more reserved in play calling on Friday. And how did Nebraska's defense look on Friday? It looked reserved. It looked unathletic. It looked uninspired.
Timid.
Yeah. How do you, so then I sit here as like somebody that tries to analyze these games, and I go, how can I expect these guys to go, yeah, you know what? Hey, go make a play. Go make a play, Riley Van Poppel. Go make a play, Keona Davis. Yeah, I can say that. And part of it can be factual. But on the other side, how can I expect that when it feels like their leader doesn't believe in them to go do that aggressively?
There is so much to break down in that, because you would think that year one as a defensive coordinator would be the time that you have to go in like full guns a-blazing, hold people to this standard of, I want to be aggressive, so you have to be aggressive.
Yeah.
If you make mistakes, make them fast, but we are going to spam the blitz button. We're going to spam the in-your-face button. We're going to walk around and carry ourselves with a swagger maybe we haven't earned yet, but we're going to by the end of the year. A la, like someone on the text line said, Signetti.
Sure.
And I got in trouble with the text line for saying this on Monday, because I think people only heard half the conversation. I am in lockstep with you. How the players play is downstream of what's called.
Yeah.
On offense and defense, right? If your defense is calling, you want to call it prevent, if you want to call it reserve, more base, whatever it is, more vanilla, like Matt Rule said, yeah, it's fair to assume and expect that the players will start playing that way. On the offensive side of the ball for Nebraska, if Matt Rule wants to say, we want to run the football, we want to control the clock, we want to keep our quarterback clean, but you're not calling plays like that, if you're not practicing in such a way that makes you believe with every fiber of your being that you're a physical enough football team to go to Minnesota and compete in a physical game, then no wonder the offense isn't going to respond like that if you're not calling plays and not practicing in a way to put them in that position. So that's the coaching aspect of it. Then you get to the players. And something Jay said has really stuck with me. Do your job and then go play football. It is your job as a player, no matter what mindset the coach is in, to take it upon yourself to do your job in your scheme that is called, and then go make a football play.
Yeah.
Being aggressive, being physical, being the aggressor should not be something that needs to come from your coach. It needs to come from inside of you. And this is where I will circle back to something you said about Luke Lindenmeyer.
Yeah.
Fascinating comments from him. You know who we also heard that from 1 week ago? Sam Hoiberg. On Thursday, 6 days ago, we heard that from Sam Hoiberg. There were times last year I could have used my voice better. I could have spoken up. Sam's not really a Nebraska kid, but he is, right? I went to high school at Pius and whatnot, but that was toward the end of his career. Lindenmeyer from Papio. Guys, if you're a leader on the team, what will Jay Foreman say is, well, the pain of discipline is better than the pain of regret. These are two guys, and Luke Lindenmeyer is taking on a starting role, and Sam Hoiberg, who will play a role for Nebraska men's basketball. If they don't feel empowered or confident enough in using their voice, is that on them being young men, still learning and growing into who they are? I get it. I've been there in those situations. I think we all have, where I want to say something because I'm a leader on the team, but I don't want to overreact. It's not that big a deal. I trust my guys. I've been through the grind with them. They'll find a way to pull out of this, not even tailspin. I don't want to overreact.
Yeah.
But I hope that guys like Luke Lindenmeyer, who's put in the work to be elevated to his position, and Sam Hoiberg, who's put in plenty of work to be elevated to the role that he has on Nebraska men's basketball, feel empowered by their coaches to be a part of the player-led locker room that their coaches say they want.
It's so interesting because, I mean, we're going to dive into this more and more as the show progresses. And once again, 402-464-5685, the Honda of Lincoln hotline and the Starter Heyman text line are open for you guys the entire program, as well as the Starter Heyman Jewelers live video stream on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and Allo Cable channel 961. Feel free to comment in there, and we'll be able to shout you out on the air. I think through it all, I was really disappointed. I don't know if I can really pick a side of the ball that I was more disappointed in on Friday, because each one had so many issues that we could address and assess, and we will throughout the course of the next hour and a half or so. But since we're on the topic of the defense here, going back to the comment of John Butler going, after the big explosive play, I kind of stepped off the gas. It makes no sense to me, because we had talked all week, and I had talked. I don't even need to say we. I had brought it up. I'll put my reputation on it here, to where this game fit perfectly, it felt like, to where what John Butler says he wants to do, where Nebraska could have caused havoc. A rather inexperienced quarterback going into his 7th career game, a rushing attack that was in the bottom 50 of the country, and an offensive line that, in comparison to other Minnesota offensive lines or other Big Ten offensive lines, was not up to snuff to where what Nebraska's accustomed to seeing. And so, like, in the moment, if one straw snaps and you allow that to alter and change your entire game plan, number one, that's reactionary as hell.
Mm-hmm.
Number two, this whole idea of like, hey, we got to trust on what we do in practice, got to trust the training, that you just threw that out the window. You cannot practice what you preach anymore.
Mm-hmm.
And then on top of all of that is like, are you going to take the sample size and the body of work of just one play when it's still a 1-point ball game? Or are you going to go back into more than, but especially the first 5 games of the 6 games of the season? You are prioritizing that one play over all of the research that you put in all week. And you said and that's the fine line that coaches have to, I guess, work with. But that's why you get the job that you get.
But it's easier to stay the course when you know what your identity is.
Yeah.
And you feel confident having something to rely on. Nebraska is not there on offense or on defense, which is where I almost give them a quarter of an inkling of a thought of a pass.
Okay.
Because we're still less than a calendar year into Dana, still less than a calendar year into John Butler. But this, I think, goes back to your point of this can't be a learning curve job. That's why Nebraska hired Dana Holgorsen, was to shortcut that process.
Yeah.
John Butler, you hope would come in ready to go, but that's not a career defensive coordinator. That's not a shortcutting of the process. So it does make sense that Dana Holgorsen and John Butler are still learning who they want to be, how they want to call plays at Nebraska. That can be true, but other coaching staffs have figured it out.
Yeah.
Nebraska hasn't yet. Again, without wanting to overreact to one game or even just the 4 games of conference play that we're into here for Nebraska, it just doesn't sit right when the actions don't match the words.
Absolutely.
Okay, John Butler, you said Nebraska can't be a counterpunch team, but one that takes the fight to other teams and a team that punches back when it tastes its own blood. You said that yesterday. I don't want to give you a pass for Minnesota. Husker fans don't want to. But if you come out and you are aggressive against Northwestern, you carry that into a primetime matchup against USC, the bye week doesn't take your edge, you take the fight to Penn State and Happy Valley, and you come back with something to prove against Iowa, you can still practice what you preach. It is not too late, but you got to start sooner than later. Let's see it.
It's there's so much we can get to. Let's get to the text line, some of these, and we can bring these up on the other side of the break here. Unnamed texter says, if our coaches and players aren't on the same page every week as the head coach, then I'd be concerned about the rest of the season. Cousin neighbor Jake said, I've never agreed with Nick more in my life on this. Scott in Minnesota says, could have helped. We need more than 6 football points. And that's the other part, right? The offense is certainly not, like I said, innocent in this conversation as well. Tulane Tanner says, I was yelling on my couch on the Minnesota's first drive in the second half when Minnesota got to their own 30, and it was so obvious what Fleck wanted to do, and we gave it to him. Run a damn blitz, and we didn't the whole drive. We were soft and vanilla. It's ridiculous. So yeah, there's a lot here. 402-464-5685, the Honda of Lincoln hotline and the Starter Heyman text line are open for you guys. Would love to hear the rest of your thoughts on that game and feelings about Northwestern on Saturday, because I think that I wouldn't call Husker Nation scarred, but I think there's a little more anxiety going into the Northwestern game. Not because it's a game that you feel like Nebraska will lose, but it's a lot of the same feelings I think that we had maybe going into Minnesota last week. And we all saw the way that Nebraska and that one kind of played out. So with that in mind, we'll get into all that throughout the course of the show. Before we get to break, though, we got to tell you about our friends at the Lincoln Children's Museum. It is a home game this weekend, and that means that game day play dates are back at the Lincoln Children's Museum. When you are enjoying your own Memorial Stadium game day experience, they can be fun for the whole family, but sometimes younger kids can't sit through an entire game at the stadium. The Lincoln Children's Museum offers game day play dates. While the parents enjoy the game, their kids get their own game day experience from our friends at the Lincoln Children's Museum. Drop-off is 90 minutes before the game. You can pick up your child or children up to 60 minutes after the game is over. There's no leaving early. You don't have to get there by the end of the game. It's 60 minutes after the game is over. So even if the game goes into overtime on Saturday, you can show up 60 minutes after that overtime period is ended and pick up your children. Once again, it's affordable, convenient, and just steps away from Memorial Stadium. If you are interested, here's the big one, though, folks. You must register your child or children prior to game day online at LincolnChildren'sMuseum.org. Once again, LincolnChildren'sMuseum.org. Get them signed up today for game day play dates this weekend, Northwestern Nebraska. It's 11 a.m. kickoff. Drop them off 90 minutes before kickoff. You can go do your tailgating thing, go enjoy the pregame festivities, and then pick up your children after the game, 60 minutes after it's over. So you have plenty of time, plus walking distance from Memorial Stadium. All right, let's step aside. Nick Sainert, he's Austin Norman. We'll be right back on The Drive.
This is your year, where your team takes it all the way. Win way more than bragging rights at Warhorse Casino, where your love of the game could put $1 million in your pocket. The Pro Football Frenzy is free to play with prizes all season long. Weekly cash prizes up to $1,000 cash, season-long leaderboards, and a chance to win $1 million. Only at Warhorse Casino. Wagers may only be placed on Nebraska-based teams when played outside the state of Nebraska. Must be 21 or older to gamble. Gambling problem? Call 1-833-BET-OVER.
If one of the things running through your mind as a business owner is the recurring worry of possible cyber attacks, you can let out a sigh of relief. Hamilton Business Technologies has you covered. As the official business IT partner of the Huskers, we offer real-time threat monitoring, advanced security protocols, and more to keep your data safe from harm. We care about the success of Nebraska businesses and communities like yours. Learn how we can help you at hamiltonisbusiness.com.
Hey Husker Nation, this is Todd Euler, two-time national champion, here to talk to you about Window World Lincoln. At Window World, we specialize in replacement windows, doors, siding, and roofing. Whether you're looking to enhance the beauty of your home or increase its energy efficiency, we've got you covered. And here's the best part. We offer the best for less. Our team is dedicated to providing top quality products and exceptional service at affordable prices. We want to earn your business and make your home improvement dreams a reality. So why wait? Contact Window World Lincoln today at 464-7313 or visit our website at windowworldlincoln.com. Window World Lincoln, where quality meets affordability.
Hello, Husker fans. Stop into Zollner Ford Beatrice for all your automotive needs. Whether new or used, car, truck, crossover, SUV, or EV, we've got them. Shop our ever-changing specials at ZollnerofBeatrice.com or give us a call today and go Big Red. We are Zollner Ford Beatrice, Nebraska's volume dealer with the hometown service you expect.
If you're seeking a career with a growing company, Gaina Trucking and Excavating is hiring and looking for additions to their team. Gaina Trucking has a strong team culture, competitive pay, 401ks, and benefits like health, dental, and vision. Drivers are guaranteed 40 hours per week, even in the winter months, and are home every night. Start your career today at Gaina Trucking and Excavating. Apply today at GainaTrucking.com.
From the capital to castles, starting this December, fly nonstop from Lincoln to Orlando with service from Breeze Airways. That's right, nonstop flights to Orlando out of LNK are starting this December. You're now just a flight away from Disney World, Universal Studios, Legoland, and the Space Coast. Stretch out and relax on Breeze with complimentary family seating. Book your magical getaway now at LincolnAirport.com. LNK, make flying easy.
Rashawn Jackson here for Bauer Infrastructure, a veteran-owned local company proudly serving Lincoln, Lancaster County, and the surrounding areas. Bauer provides quality work at an affordable price, and they're growing rapidly. If you want to experience a career with a fast-paced, family-friendly environment, visit BauerInfrastructure.com. They have top-of-the-line benefits, year-round work, even through the winter. Bauer, usher in the new era of infrastructure to an area near you. And as always, go Big Red!
Hey there, this is Paul Scheel, owner of High Electric. I want to thank our friends and loyal customers and introduce High Electric to those looking for a new electrician. We've been serving the Lincoln and Omaha area for over 30 years, from design to install, upgrades, and repair. If you are a homeowner or a small business needing some electrical work, call us at 402-466-6606 or check us out at hyelectric.com. We look forward to hearing from you.
Start your Sundays off right with Jeff and Nicole Essink on Fitness Fanatics. Jeff and Nicole discuss health and wellness, how to achieve fitness goals, and more through the life of gym owners and gym goers. It's Fitness Fanatics from 9 to 11 a.m. on Sundays on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. Comfort food, but make it vegan. At Rutabagas, they're serving all your crave-worthy classics. Mac and cheese, loaded nachos, Philly cheesesteaks, all 100% plant-powered and 100% delicious. Catch them at their cozy spot at 70th and Vine, or find their food truck rolling through the streets of Lincoln. So whether you're vegan, veg curious, or just hungry for comfort food with a twist, Rutabagas has a plate waiting for you. Find them on Instagram for their food truck location and specials. Rutabagas, where comfort meets compassion. All right, Lincoln, if you're a diesel technician who's ready to earn up to $40 an hour and you're tired of working nights and weekends, listen up. Inland Truck Parts and Service is hiring experienced diesel technicians right here in Lincoln, and they're offering what every hardworking tech wants. Monday through Friday hours, no nights, no weekends, and paid training on advanced diesel technology. With 37 locations across 12 states, career advancement opportunities are endless. Start building towards your future and apply today at inlandtruck.com. That's inlandtruck.com. Or text APPLY to 785-369-1320.
What's better than supporting your favorite radio station and eating delicious Nebraska-made products? Smoking Gun Jerky of Nebraska wants to highlight you, the listener, on the 93.7 The Ticket Wall of Fame at the store. Stop by the store at 48th and R in Lincoln and see their huge variety of small batch gourmet jerky. Or if you're not in the area and want to try some, go to smokinggunjerky.com and enter code EARLY for 10% off your purchase. It's the ultimate low-calorie, high-protein snack at Smoking Gun Jerky of Nebraska.
When the clock strikes 0 after every Nebraska football game, there's only one place to go for instant coverage. Tune in for the Husker After Party Postgame Show on 93.7 The Ticket for each game, win or lose. Call in with all your takes or text the show at 464-5685 and hear quotes from the players and coaches, too. It's the Husker After Party Postgame Show, sponsored by Anderson Ford and Vinny Krikak of State Farm Insurance.
Rosie's Sports Bar and Grill, open for lunch and dinner at 1501 Center Park Road, just south of 14th and Highway 2.
Now back to the drive with Aaron Davis and Nick Sainert, sponsored by Doors Plus on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Welcome back in. It is The Drive, 93.7 The Ticket, theticketfm.com. Nick Sainert alongside Austin Orman today. And tomorrow, AD is back on Friday. On Friday, by the way, as well, friend of the station, friend of the program, Connor Onion. Tentatively slated to make some appearance. I don't know. I texted him this morning. Might have production meetings for Fox. I don't know.
He's also tentatively slated to receive a Dave Stieb autographed card in Chicago, and that didn't happen.
He was supposed to show up to Big Ten basketball media days and then got called in to do NBA play-by-play. So whatever, priorities, I guess. Anyway, he'll potentially join us in studio. He's a big fan of the Mill.
As he should be.
Yeah, as he should be. So hopefully he joins us at some point. Before we get back into Nebraska football stuff, 402-464-5685. Here's the number you're going to want to know. You can text in the show. A concert ticket giveaway. That's right. Concert tickets, we're giving away. A Day to Remember and Yellow Card are bringing back nostalgia with their early 2000s sound on Halloween night, October 31st at Pinnacle Bank Arena. Tickets are available via Ticketmaster, or if you're lucky right now, you can win a pair of tickets to the concert courtesy of The Drive and of 93.7 The Ticket. For today's tickets, the first person to text in the correct answer to this question wins two tickets for the concert on October 31st. Get your texting fingers ready to go. Here is the question. The first person to get this right wins 2 tickets for the Day to Remember and Yellow Card concert on October 31st. Here's the question. What is the most streamed song of all time by Yellow Card from the year 2003? First person to text in the correct answer to our text line on the Starter Heyman text line, 464-5685, gets it right. Here we go. There it is, 0419 gets it correct. 0419. Send us your name and your information, your email as well, and we will hook you up with 2 concert tickets to A Day to Remember and Yellow Card on October 31st. 0419. Congratulations, you are a winner. All right, Austin, let's get back into this here.
Yes, let's.
Let's turn to the other side of the ball on offense, to where with Dana Holgorsen yesterday, we heard a lot of the same stuff. And this is another thing that I juggle with, I think, and a lot of Husker fans juggle and struggle to work with, is that, going into yesterday and even Monday with Matt Rule, we got asked the question, I'm sure you did too on your show, to where it was like, what do you want to hear? And as basic and as relative as this is going to sound, like, I don't know. Like, I don't know what I want to hear, because I think that answer can be accurate in a sense to where nothing that they say is going to make anybody feel better. It just needs to be played on Saturday. Like, we just need Saturday to get here, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so going into yesterday with Dana Holgorsen, it was like, okay, what do you expect to hear? What do you want to hear? What are things that you're kind of looking for? You knew running the football was going to be a topic of conversation. And Dana, in typical Dana Holgorsen fashion, doubles down on the whole, we want to run the ball. We want to do this. And I struggle because I'm just at the point the same way I was at the beginning of the season of like, I don't care what you want to do. I am not a run the damn ball guy. I know there's a lot of folks out there, and there's proven track records to where that does provide success, right? And it also opens up other things. That's fine. If you want to be a run first team, if you want to be a pass first team, I do not care. Just tell me what you want to be, and don't come to public forums and say otherwise. It kind of is exactly what we talked about. Don't talk about it and be about it.
Absolutely. I was honestly a little underwhelmed by the Dana Holgorsen press conference. I thought it was going to get a little more fiery than it did. There was more to take away from what John Butler said in the way he looked and just his body language than there was from Dana Holgorsen. But on the Dana Holgorsen point, he, toward the end of his presser, said, I got to do a better job in the first half of running the ball. Coming out in the second half, I got to do a better job of running the ball. And I think he believes that. I think he likes Emmett Johnson, the player. Yeah. He also noted that on Nebraska's first drive, Dylan Raiola checked out or made the pass option in the RPO run pass option. So with that in mind, what do? Do you take the RPO out of things on the first drive? Yeah. You say, Dylan, your head coach wants this. We still trust you, obviously, to make the right read, but we want to be a run the ball team. Your head coach wants to be a run the ball team. This first drive, unless we're in, 3rd and 4 to 6 or less, it's just a run. It's not a run pass option. Hand it off. We live with the result. It's what your head coach wants to do. And even judging Dylan's, choice to pass instead of run on any given play, it's yes, no. It's pass fail. It's black, white. It didn't work. Nebraska went 3 and out. It looks really bad.
Yeah.
Maybe Dylan made the right move to throw the pass play and it just went incomplete. Okay, so you can't just say, well, Nebraska went 3 and out, so it was the wrong choice to pass those first 2 plays. It was because they were incomplete. But if they're complete and Nebraska moves the sticks at the very least and has a 5-play drive or a 6-play drive before they punt, we're having a little bit different conversation. But the quote that Dana Holgorsen has gone back to in some form or fashion that I think really stands out to me and is most indicative of what he wants to do, he said it again yesterday. When I talk about balance, it's about getting the ball around to different people. He doesn't talk about balance as I want to be 55-45 pass run or vice versa. And I think Husker fans at the beginning of the year, when you look at who the best players on the team, especially on the offensive side of the ball, were, would subscribe to that mentality. Sure. You want to get Emmett Johnson the ball when it makes sense, whether that is in the run game or out on the perimeter with a swing pass or a screen pass, or whatever it is. But you get a talented SEC transfer in Dane Key. That's a guy who has been open sometimes, has been covered others. We can have the Dane Key conversation if we want, but probably hasn't had the numbers he expected at this point. Isaiah Hunter had a 2.5-week flash and then disappeared when Nebraska needed him the most to be the spark, to make that big play on the deep ball from Dylan Raiola, to keep Nebraska within striking distance. Everyone's permitted a drop. It just came to a really bad time. You got to get him the ball. You like Ja'Cory Barney Jr. returning. You like Cortez Mills as a freshman. You like the breakouts for Quinn Clark. You like Luke Lindenmeyer returning as tight end. You want to get Heinrich Harburg the ball because you're excited about him moving to tight end. That's a lot of mouths to feed. And Dana Holgorsen has also said, when I get the feeling that the guy's hot, I'm going to try to send things his direction because the ball finds energy is essentially it. So Dana Holgersen's version of balance is, I got a lot of guys I want to get the ball to. How do I best do that? Not what is the best way for this offense to succeed. It's just like the conversation in basketball with depth. It's great if you can go 10 deep. It is. Every coach wants the luxury of depth of playmakers. But you're in Big Ten conference play right now, Nebraska.
Yeah.
It's not, let's feed all these mouths. It's who are our guys that are going to play 60, 70, 80% of the snaps, and then the other guys are in to spell it.
Yeah.
Maybe that's the breakdown. But from this point on, if Nebraska football wants an offensive identity, I really think it's 11 personnel with Lindenmeyer, with Emmett Johnson, and what does that leave me? That 3 receivers? Okay. Run those guys out there on 80% of your plays because they can run them effectively, no matter what it is you want to do. Yeah, you want to get looks at other guys, but right now balance is let's spread it around our top 6 guys, not our top 9 or 10 guys.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of different angles you can look at this. I think when you look at Nebraska's offense as well, some of the numbers, especially from the receiving core, this is where I struggle to like see what Nebraska wants to do, and I do wonder about the alignment. We love that word when we're talking about college programs. Alignment between head coach and offensive coordinator in this case, because I think that there's a lot of things that Dana can do to where it gets Dane Key, Ja'Cory Barney, and Isaiah Hunter heavily involved in the offense. I think there's also things that are required to where you need to keep Emmett Johnson involved in the game because he's been your most consistent playmaker this season. To have a stretch of 5 games to where Dane Key, there's been 2 of those 5 games where he hasn't caught a single pass. And then Ja'Cory Barney, similar conversation there, is unacceptable in my opinion. Like, and Dana said
there's no
that,
one culprit.
No, there's not. And that's maybe why it's so frustrating, is because you can't just point to a thing. Like what we're talking about right now is play calls and how you manage the game. We're not even talking about sacks allowed, which is maybe the bigger eyesore for Husker fans to see.
Well, Matt Rule brought it up, and Dana Holgorsen has said it too. I think it was against Michigan State. It was going into Maryland, and then Dane Key had a important game against Maryland. Was sometimes we call the wrong play, and it doesn't work. That happens. Sometimes we call the right play, and the receiver's not quick enough out of his break or doesn't create separation. Or sometimes it's the offensive line gets beat early and the play doesn't have a chance to develop. Or sometimes this is the one rep where Dylan was looking the wrong way when he had a guy over there. It happens to every football team. It's not just a Nebraska issue, but that's why I think it's important for us to continue to say it's not all on Dylan's lack of mobility. It's not all on Dana Holgorsen's play calling. It's not all on Donovan Raiola's offensive line. Every play is different. Literally. Every play is different, not just in a big picture sense, but Nebraska sees it on film. We see it, as we watch the games too. If you could nail it down to, man, the offensive line is giving Dylan Raiola so much time. He's going through his progressions twice because he has 5-6 seconds to sit there, but the receivers just aren't winning off the ball. That's one thing. But that's not the conversation. It's not Dana Holgorsen's always calling the wrong plays. Sometimes you call a great play and it works. Sometimes you call a great play and it doesn't work. Sometimes you call a crappy play and your players make you look good because they make something out of nothing. But there's no one issue where we can say Nebraska has to address this immediately or it's not going to work. It's everyone's got to be better, which sounds like a cop-out, but it truly is not.
And maybe this is where we can say this, Austin, like Minnesota did a really good job. Minnesota did a really good job of just exposing Nebraska's deficiencies in a lot of areas. I think that there's the one big area that I think Nebraska fans, we are not talking enough about, and it's tough to talk about it because unless you were in the stadium, is Nebraska and their lack of ability, their inability to win one-on-one battles on the perimeter. Like that,
offensively or defensively.
Well, what I'm saying is Nebraska's wide receivers, as much at fault as Dana is, as Dylan is, as the offensive line is, the wide receivers, I can attest to this, were not getting open. And then when you mix it on the few times that they were open, Dylan missed them. Dylan would check down to Emmett instead of throwing down to Ja'Cory. But that could also be a byproduct because he's just not terrified. He's shaken because he doesn't want to hold on to the ball too long because he doesn't want to get sacked. And so I think it's like just all of these things. I think we saw on Friday really the pressure get to Dylan at times. And then on top of it, there was just a conglomerate of other issues that spiraled out of control at once. And I think this is where it's important for us to acknowledge that this didn't come out of nowhere. Like we had seen glimpses, not to the extent that we saw maybe on Friday against Minnesota, but it wasn't like Nebraska's offense was playing 4 quarters of quality offensive football the previous 3 weeks either. No. And this is not me trying to go back and be like, see, I told you so, or and people could text in and be like, well, why didn't you say anything? Well, because Nebraska was winning games. Like Nebraska was 5-1, and we can put on the realistic glasses and stuff like that. But also at the end of the day, like there is some mentality of like just win.
They were giving themselves time to figure it out by winning.
Yes. And so that is bingo. That's a great segue into, I think, the 10 o'clock hour, because we're going to do something else at 9:45. That's a great segue into the 10 o'clock hour of that. It was more disappointing that from week 5, or game 5, I should say, against Michigan State to game 7 against Minnesota, there wasn't a whole lot of growth offensively. That's a great segue into that. Let's dive into that in the 10 o'clock hour. We have a really short segment when we come back, so we don't want to dive too much into anything specific. So when we come back, we'll do that and then talk more Husker football in the 10 o'clock hour. It's The Drive, 93.7 The Ticket, and theticketfm.com.
Anderson Ford in Lincoln has 2 convenient locations, which means 2 times the customer service, 2 times the inventory, and 2 times the ability to get you in the car of your dreams. Whether you visit us on the north side or the south side, you'll find more selection and a team that's always on your side. When you're looking for a better way to buy your next Ford, visit Anderson Ford in Lincoln, where exceptional service meets unbeatable selection.
The party is back on in Lincoln this fall, and there's no party like the A1 Automotive Ticket Tailgate pregame show. Join the whole ticket crew for 2.5 hours of pregame coverage before every home and away game this football season as they get you ready for the game. It's the A1 Automotive Ticket Tailgate pregame show at our downtown studio at 11th and O. Sponsored by Select Plumbing, Raising Cane's, Wall to Wall Wine and Spirits, Elway Power Sports of Lincoln, Currency, and the Kindler Hotel.
This is your year, where your team takes it all the way. Win way more than bragging rights at Warhorse Casino, where your love of the game could put $1 million in your pocket. The Pro Football Frenzy is free to play with prizes all season long. Weekly cash prizes up to $1,000 cash, season-long leaderboards, and a chance to win $1 million. Only at Warhorse Casino. Wagers may only be placed on Nebraska-based teams when played outside the state of Nebraska. Must be 21 or older to gamble. Gambling problem? Call 1-833-BET-OVER.
What's better than supporting your favorite radio station and eating delicious Nebraska-made products? Smoking Gun Jerky of Nebraska wants to highlight you, the listener, on the 93.7 The Ticket Wall of Fame at the store. Stop by the store at 48th and R in Lincoln and see their huge variety of small batch gourmet jerky. Or if you're not in the area and want to try some, go to smokinggunjerky.com and enter code EARLY for 10% off your purchase. It's the ultimate low-calorie, high-protein snack at Smoking Gun Jerky of Nebraska.
Hi, Sean Callahan here, and I've got some great news for you. Koppel Chevrolet GMC is proud to be the #1 fastest growing GMC dealer in the Omaha and Lincoln metros. Koppel is also celebrating its 50th anniversary. We want to say thank you to all of our customers that have helped us reach these milestones. So come see why so many customers, including myself, are choosing Koppel Chevrolet GMC for their automotive needs. Please check us out at koppelcars.com.
Hi, everybody. Charlie Stone back again with Andy Goodyear of Honda of Lincoln. Andy, there are so many great things to talk about right now. Let's start with new and pre-owned vehicles.
Thanks, Charlie. Yeah, we're all excited those days of inventory shortages are behind us. Right now, we have more than 400 new Hondas to choose from and over 125 pre-owned with just about any make or model in stock.
I know certified pre-owned Hondas are a very important part of your dealership. Tell us about certified, Andy.
We always have a great selection of certified pre-owned Hondas in stock in like new condition, and they also come with a 7-year, 100,000-mile warranty.
How about service?
You know, our amazing service department not only services Hondas, but we service just about any make, and we are one of the largest tire dealers in the state. Look us up the next time you need tires on your car.
Experience the best at the Honda of Lincoln way of doing business, 27th and Yankee Hill Road, or online at hondaoflincoln.com.
Are you looking for an exciting new way to put your skills to work? Explore new career options in the fintech industry at Currency, a Sandhills Global company. We offer full-time positions in financial sales, compliance, operations, and other fields. We also offer a 4.5-day work week, an attractive benefits package, and opportunities for advancement. Put your motivation to work and grow with us at Currency. Visit gocurrency.com/careers to learn more.
Start your Sundays off right with Jeff and Nicole Essink on Fitness Fanatics. Jeff and Nicole discuss health and wellness, how to achieve fitness goals, and more through the life of gym owners and gym goers. It's Fitness Fanatics from 9 to 11 a.m. on Sundays on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Fall is here, and so are cooler temps, darker evenings, and slick roads. Is your vehicle ready for the change in seasons? At A1 Automotive, we've got you covered. From tire checks, brake inspections, batteries, and heater systems, we make sure your car is road ready for the Nebraska winters ahead. Don't wait until the first frost. Schedule your fall car care checkup today and drive with confidence all season long. A1 Automotive, always honest answers.
Now back to the drive with Aaron Davis and Nick Sainer, sponsored by Doors Plus on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Welcome back in real quick here before we turn the page to the 10 o'clock hour in just a moment. Nick Sainer, Austin Orman with you. AD is back on Friday. Austin will join me tomorrow on the show as well. Naturally, as we do, we always have to find a way to sneak baseball into our conversations, Austin.
That's why we're here.
We were able to enjoy NLDS Game 3 together a couple of weeks ago at Wrigley.
That was 1 week ago.
No,
2 weeks ago.
It was
2 weeks ago.
Yeah, 2 weeks ago. It was
That's already 2 weeks ago?
It was a week
Oh my
before the
God.
Minnesota game.
Wow.
All right. That's all right. So anyway, here's what I would say, though, if I can get my mic to stay. There is news in like college baseball and the crossover of Major League Baseball. Tennessee head coach Tony Vitello might be taking a job to be the manager of the San Francisco Giants. It'd be the first time ever that a college head coach leaves and immediately gets a job as a manager in Major League Baseball.
First time ever. And who better to do it than Tony Vitello?
Bingo.
I mean, he has been so good for the sport of college baseball in elevating a program like Tennessee to where it is right now. I will say I'm a little skeptical because I don't know how well Vitello's swagger shtick will play in a professional clubhouse.
Yeah.
I think it was needed for Tennessee to get to where it is, especially in the SEC, with how seriously that conference takes baseball, with all the great programs in, long history for college baseball and in recent history for college baseball. Tennessee needed Tony Vitello. What a hire. It's worked out very well. Now, we know how Tony Vitello looks in orange. That part is there. But Gabe Kapler had some of that same vibe, same swagger to him for the Giants, and that got old really quick.
Yeah.
I'm not saying Tony Vitello can't find a way to inject the right amount in the right way of that into a Giants clubhouse that kind of needs it. I mean, maybe the perfect situation for a proud franchise who's looking up from third, maybe fourth in its own division right now. You need some of that swagger to tell yourself, yeah, we can compete with the Dodgers. There's no reason we need to be behind, the little brother Padres. And the Diamondbacks, are you kidding me? What are they? They're not that great. They're still a pretty young franchise. So I could see it, but what a loss that would be for college baseball.
Oh, massive.
I mean,
loss.
we talk about people going from, Big Ten head coaching jobs to Big 12 and SEC assistant jobs, like has happened in the not too distant past. But man, as great as that could be for the Giants, what a huge mark of honor that would be for Tony Vitello to be the first guy, like you're mentioning. That would be a massive loss for college baseball, similar to had Dan Hurley taken the Lakers job a couple of years ago.
I find it interesting just because it'd be a massive loss for college baseball because there's very few, to like the casual fans, there's very few universally known managers or head coaches. And Tony Vitello is one that you do know, right? Whether it was Paul Maneri, whether it was now Tony Vitello, maybe Jay Johnson's getting up there because he has a championship, maybe. But ultimately, like that Kevin Sullivan maybe is up there, but not anywhere close to what Tony Vitello is to the game of baseball.
I mean, I'm thinking like Tim Corbin, Pat Casey.
Yeah,
and those guys,
great point.
That's it.
Great point. And then I think maybe
Augie Garrido back in the day.
Yes. Yeah. So to be able to number one, parlay that into a managerial job in Major League Baseball is huge. I don't see how he turns it down. I also think he's at a point in his career to where if he were to fail in San Francisco, it's not like every other college organization or program wouldn't be knocking on the door to try to get him back into the college game. And he might also just really like the Major League Baseball operation a little bit more than college baseball operation as well. So we're expecting a decision in the next 24 hours, I would imagine.
I mean, it's been dragging on for a few days already.
Yeah. Like I think I read on Monday that it was expected in the next 48 hours. And so that would put today as the day. Tennessee actually scrimmaged yesterday to the public. And there were a lot of fans there that were trying to chant at him and keep him to stay and stuff like that. So we'll see.
Let's say he takes the job. Let's say he's in San Francisco, goes about 500-ish, maybe a little below over 5 years. And then the Giants want to go a different direction. What's a better job? SEC baseball head coach or AAA manager?
SEC baseball head coach.
You think?
I do.
In AAA, you're one step away from getting promoted back to the bigs. I mean, we've seen that happen. Maybe not to the manager, but to be on the bench. Could he be a bench coach somewhere? I know that's more of a, longer tenure, more respected. Could he be an assistant hitting coach for a couple years? Something like that.
But
I
that just
don't know.
feels like such a drop off.
But if he gets
in
a
just
taste,
terms of title.
Yeah, but if he gets a taste of it, he likes it.
Yeah.
Money, I don't know what the money is going to be, but it's the same kind of conversation for me. If or when Zach Taylor gets fired in Cincinnati, he's not coming back to college.
No.
If Tony Vitello goes to the Giants and is successful enough, another team could talk themselves into him. But here's the other part. He's from St. Louis. He played at Missouri. I'm just saying. I mean, could he restore a Midwestern program to prominence if it doesn't work out in San Francisco? Or does the next hot SEC team, I don't know, South Carolina looking for a road back, scoop him up, and then it's off to the races? I don't know.
Here's what's interesting. Last but not least, from a salary standpoint, he's getting paid $3 million a year at Tennessee. He is. Now, here's the deal. MLB managers, some of the highest paid ones, Dodgers manager Dave Roberts, 8.1. Craig Counsell with the Cubs, $8 million. Alex Cora, 7.3. Bruce Bochy with the Rangers, 4.5. So there was a lot there. There's also some managers that are making less than Tony Vitello was and is at Tennessee. I would imagine he'd be in the range of the $5 to $6 million range to come be the manager of the Giants. It's going to be interesting to see. Also, don't forget, like, Buster Posey's involved in that decision now as the president of baseball ops. Yeah. And that could be so much more attractive as well for a potential manager rather than just having a corporate guy. Having somebody that actually played the game could be a step in the right direction to getting Tony Vitello to be somebody that works for the Giants.
I'm pleasantly surprised with how things have gone for Buster Posey so far.
I'm happy for him.
I mean, good for him. I wasn't sure how that was going to go, bringing in a franchise legend to do that, but Gerald Arthur Posey has some proclivity for front office.
There he is.
Good on him.
Shout out to Buster. Let's step aside. We're back into Husker football after this.
Bagels and Joe is the best place to start off your mornings, and you can order your breakfast ahead of time on their app. You can't go wrong with one of their great bagel sandwiches or breakfast burritos. Stop by any of their 4 locations in Lincoln and their location in Seward. Bagels and Joe.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com. On the internet. KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket.
All right, Lincoln, if you're a diesel technician who's ready to earn up to $40 an hour and you're tired of working nights and weekends, listen up. Inland Truck Parts and Service is hiring experienced diesel technicians right here in Lincoln, and they're offering what every hardworking tech wants. Monday through Friday hours, no nights, no weekends, and paid training on advanced diesel technology. With 37 locations across 12 states, career advancement opportunities are endless. Start building towards your future and apply today at inlandtruck.com. That's inlandtruck.com. Or text APPLY to 785-369-1320.
Things that impair you come in many different shapes and sizes. Some are the shape of beer and liquor bottles. Others look like cigarettes but aren't cigarettes at all. These are the things we know impair us, the things our parents warned us about. What we're not always aware of is our new prescription, or the over-the-counter medicine we picked up just for allergies or a bad cold. See, it doesn't just matter how much of a substance you take. If you are impaired, driving is deceptively dangerous. Don't drive impaired. Paid for by the NDOT Highway Safety Office.
Comfort food, but make it vegan. At Rutabagas, they're serving all your crave-worthy classics. Mac and cheese, loaded nachos, Philly cheesesteaks, all 100% plant-powered and 100% delicious. Catch them at their cozy spot at 70th and Vine, or find their food truck rolling through the streets of Lincoln. So whether you're vegan, veg curious, or just hungry for comfort food with a twist, Rutabagas has a plate waiting for you. Find them on Instagram for their food truck location and specials. Rutabagas, where comfort meets compassion.
When your home fills up with family, Allo Fiber makes sure that space is a happy place for everyone. Allo Fiber experts install it all, and full service means step-by-step support, guiding you through everything so you can stay connected to what matters, and the family can always feel at home. Put the game on, and don't worry about your Wi-Fi calling a timeout. Better TV and internet service is one connection away. Call Allo at 866-481-2556 or visit allofiber.com.
From the capital to castles, starting this December, fly nonstop from Lincoln to Orlando with service from Breeze Airways. That's right, nonstop flights to Orlando out of LNK are starting this December. You're now just a flight away from Disney World, Universal Studios, Legoland, and the Space Coast. Stretch out and relax on Breeze with complimentary family seating. Book your magical getaway now at LincolnAirport.com. LNK, make flying easy.
Start your Sundays off right with Jeff and Nicole Essink on Fitness Fanatics. Jeff and Nicole discuss health and wellness, how to achieve fitness goals, and more through the life of gym owners and gym goers. It's Fitness Fanatics from 9 to 11 a.m. on Sundays on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Prepare for the Maximum Fun Tour. A day to remember. Yellow Card. Pinnacle Bank Arena. Friday, October 31st. Special guests, The Wonder Years and Dinosaur Pile-Up. Tickets on sale now at Ticketmaster.com. The Maximum Fun Tour. A day to remember. Yellow Card.
Sometimes good people make mistakes. When you find yourself in need of an attorney, call Liberty Law Group. The attorneys at Liberty Law Group will defend you in court and protect your freedom to get you the best possible outcome and the justice you deserve. Trust your freedom to Liberty Law Group, the best criminal attorneys in Nebraska and Iowa. Call them today at 877-404-5238. That's 877-404-5238. Or check them out online at libertylawgroup.com.
Welcome to The Drive with Aaron Davis and Nick Sainert. Former football national champion, speaker, and author Aaron Davis.
Pain is a teacher if you use it. And the lessons in the carnage of pain sometimes are elusive. They hide, they're stealth. The work is finding the lessons through the pain. There's always a message in the mess. Depends on if we want to get dirty and look for it.
Nick Sainert.
Driving left side is Boyer, picks up his dribble, looking for some help, decides to go up strong with it, and the layup will rattle home. Jack Riley picks the pocket of BJ Bradford up the floor to Jack Hostrider. Watch out! Bonfisi in the lane, kicks it out. 3-ball, Townsley, right wing, it's good!
Sponsored by Doors Plus on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
It is The Drive, 93.7 The Ticket, theticketfm.com. Nick Sainert and Austin Orman with you as we continue to navigate a frustrating week of Nebraska football going into what we'd hope be a bowl-eligible victory for the Huskers this Saturday against the Northwestern Wildcats. 11 a.m. kickoff on FS1. Not mad about the 11 a.m. kickoff, Austin. I understand there's a lot of fans that are, and that's fine. I'm not frustrated with it, though. It feels like Nebraska Northwestern's always an 11 a.m. game, and people are going to like it, not going to like this, but like with like Beth Mowins on the call. That's what it feels like it should be. ESPN 2.
Yeah, oh, exactly. Oh, yeah. We have so many of those games we can point back to. I kind of expected it with the way Nebraska looked against Minnesota. I mean, 11 o'clock, whatever. Like it, love it, hate it. I don't really care. They're going to play a game on Saturday. That's what matters. What should really sting Nebraska fans, you got relegated to FS1. You didn't even get.
You don't like that?
You didn't even get the Big Ten Network. You got FS1, which I think is below the pecking order Big Ten Network.
You'd say FS1 is lower than Big Ten Network,
in my opinion.
Interesting.
I don't know if that's true or not. It just feels like it. It just feels like it to me.
I think the Fox broadcast is better than a Big Ten Network production.
Production value might be better, but it feels to me like you got relegated.
Okay. Interesting. I think, well, FS1 is nationally. Big Ten Network's regional.
It is, but like it's not Big Fox. It's not Big Noon.
No.
Whereas Big Ten, you can make the case like, oh, this is the game that we're featuring, whereas it feels like the leftover Fox game.
Can we argue though that Nebraska probably won't have a Big Noon kickoff this year? Nebraska Penn State certainly won't be.
Ooh, you think? What else is that week though?
Well,
if
it depends what happens
Penn
during
State
that bye week.
Well, if it's a 6-4 versus 7-3.
Let me look up what's the rest of that week.
Because I think there's a chance.
No, really.
I'm not saying it's going to happen. I'm saying that's the only best chance. Because you're not sending it out to Nebraska, UCLA.
Yeah, that was kind of my point there. Okay, so what do we got here? All right, you have nope, it's not going to be.
Nope.
There's USC Oregon.
Which
no,
just
kidding.
Wait, is that CBS?
Well, it's TBD, but that it's at Oregon. Think about that. It'd be a 9 a.m. kickoff. So there's a chance there.
It's all coming together.
Let's see. So what the other one would be Michigan, Maryland. You were not saying
Illinois, Wisconsin.
No way.
If Illinois is a top 15 team?
No, not to Wisconsin. Absolutely not. You want to talk about an empty stadium?
Oh boy, it's bad.
Did you see those pictures of Wisconsin Stadium this last weekend?
It was a problem.
And
Kansas, Iowa State?
Potentially. It feels like Big Noon has to be like a Big Ten game, though. Maybe. If Nebraska's a one-loss team, you have the Penn State Matt Rule's connection. Sure.
Yeah, I still think it's the best bet.
I would actually argue there. Now, I don't know what with the 2 weeks
Kansas State,
before.
Utah?
That one looks better. I don't know what's the 2 weeks before. Okay, so it's all right, so here's the week of the UCLA game. Well, you wouldn't be able to. It'd be a 9 a.m. local time kickoff.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Man, darn West Coast. And with that being said, I'm in on USC being a night game. Like, it has to be. And I did hear, Troy Dannon last night on Sports Nightly was talking about how on his weekly radio show or monthly radio show appearance, he was talking about how there's going to be war towels or what are they called?
Rally towels.
Rally towels. Thank you. In the student section, and that there will be other surprises for every other fan. And I've been saying it since I've been here at the station. It's like, if you want one of these theme nights to work, it feels like at Nebraska, you have to provide the stuff. You have to provide, whether that's a towel for everybody, you have to provide something, because Nebraska fans in their own beautiful way want to wear red. They just want to. And so if you want to have this blackout, it's going to be sweet and it's going to be cool at night. Like, it's going to be awesome. But you got to provide the materials, because not every fan's going to abide by the rules or by what you are trying to get them to do.
Because you're doing something so different.
Yeah.
Once it becomes ingrained, like a whiteout, you only have to build it up for 2 weeks. This is going to be our whiteout game. You tell people in the offseason, this is going to be our whiteout game for Penn State come hell or high water or whatever. Fine. There's that institutional knowledge. You build it up. Sure, you'll have those stragglers that don't know, that forget, they come from out of town, whatever. But come on. Just buy, 40,000, 50,000 t-shirts, put them in the lower bowl. It'll look great on TV.
Yeah, you don't need to do the 600 level.
No. And Nebraska volleyball, same thing. They're doing the stripe out, or they did at one point. Just provide the shirts. Yeah. It's not that big a deal. If you want it to look cool, take the extra step and provide it for people. Otherwise, you're leaving it to chance. And that's not going to work out well for you in the long run.
Especially for a product like Nebraska that gets so many eyes. You're going to be able to sit there and be like, hey, we can make Hanes today's game day t-shirt sponsor. Right. Hanes provides all the t-shirts for you. And it's, hey, you do the PA announcement over the intercom once every quarter, whatever you want. Hey, we want to thank Hanes for being our game day t-shirt sponsor today. Hanes, make it great, or whatever their slogan is. I don't know. But it's like those are things that you can do to where it becomes more feasible. I don't know. I look at it. I'm excited Nebraska's doing those things. I love themed events. I love themed crowds. I get jealous every time I turn on a Tennessee Volunteer football game and I see Neyland Stadium striped out, or the checkerboard. I get jealous. And so I'm excited for them to do that. But back to much more serious things, rather than TV kickoff times and so on and so forth. Austin, remind me kind of the point you made, and listeners, for those that might have just gotten in their vehicles or whatever. We talked about, hey, we want to build off of this into the 10 a.m. hour. Kind of walk us through your thought process that you had in the middle of the middle of the 9 o'clock hour.
Yeah, we were talking about some of the issues that Nebraska's offense and or defense had that manifested in a one possession loss to Michigan, then really going into the 2 wins against Michigan State and Maryland. And was Nebraska, quote unquote, exposed against Minnesota? In some ways, yes. In other ways, it was just kind of the same issues that bit them. But what I said was beating Michigan State and Maryland gave Nebraska time to figure those issues out.
Exactly.
Winning cures all ills. Because why? Because fans are happy about wins. Because teams are happy about wins. But this is where I think it's going to be really fascinating to monitor the growth of this program, where you can tell it's not 100% where it needs to be. Because point in hand, obviously they're not, football robots, right? They're young men playing a game. They're coaches. They're humans. They're people. There's always going to be some of that temptation to not be apathetic, but go surface level and say, we won, what we're doing works. That's the natural reaction. The healthy reaction that could help Nebraska, have played better against Minnesota and needs to be instilled in Nebraska, not just for the rest of the season, but for the rest of all time, was we won, and not just pay lip service to their stuff we got to clean up. Guys, we almost got ourselves beat. Guys, we had a 10-point lead and a 14-point lead, and we let it slip because we as a defense couldn't get off the field, because we as an offense didn't sustain drives. We got ourselves out of rhythm. So, yes, Nebraska won. But it's going to be very important for Nebraska, and really whatever team you root for, whatever sport, to be happy with the win, because I agree with Jane that the winning feeling can go a long way in building confidence, especially in a program that hasn't had many reasons to be confident over the last decade, even, 2.5 years for just the Matt Rule tenure. You got to be happy with every win, because it's hard. It's a war. They don't come easy. You can't take the winning for granted. But it's because you can't take the winning for granted that you can't be satisfied with an ugly win. Maybe this is Nebraska playing all the way up to its potential. It's the best we're going to get, and we just have to accept that fact. But if you're in that locker room, you have to be telling yourself, there's more that I can do. There's deeper that I can dig. I can be cleaner on every snap that I'm in the game, so that I'm doing my part to make sure we don't blow the next 10 or 14-point lead, because there's some underlying worrying signs that I know I have to clean up, that we have as a team have to clean up. And just because we're winning, it's not all sunshine and roses.
And that's what I think why I was most alarmed by Luke Lindenmeyer's comments yesterday about last week. And once again, 402-464-5685. Unnamed texter earlier said, I think that there was regression on offense, and that is what has fans worried. They also added the text, do you think it was productive for Rule on Monday to say that he was triggered and pissed about the Minnesota loss? He had no tactical answers for how to get better. It was all emotional based, and I found it very underwhelming. To answer the Rule press conference part first, I'm not sure what he could have said to essentially make Husker fans feel better. I think that you were kind of damned if you do, damned if you don't. If you're Matt Rule going into that Monday press conference, you have to take accountability, which I thought he did. I thought all coaches that talked on Monday and Tuesday took accountability. But then in addition to that I think he rightfully so came across as pretty frustrated in the idea that Nebraska, it just wasn't good enough. And you can, that's like such an all-encompassing statement. I was just like, we're just not good. It just wasn't good enough. It just wasn't good enough. And it can be factual, but also at the end of the day, when it's all said and done, like the results, the only thing that's going to make Nebraska fans feel better is if they go out on Saturday against Northwestern and not just win, but I think they're astute enough to where it's, all right, do you force turnovers? Because that's something you haven't done in the last couple of games. Dylan Raiola has 5 interceptions in the last 4 games. What does that look like this week against a pretty decent Northwestern defense? Northwestern runs the ball on offense. They have Preston Stone at quarterback. How do they stop the run? Are they able to make adjustments? you can't make these wholesale changes in 1 week, but throughout 4 weeks of a season, you can get dramatically better. And then throughout the first 8 weeks of a season, you can get dramatically better. And so this idea that, like, Jay always talks about it, and a lot of former players talk about it, it's like, look at it as chapters in a book. I need to get better from chapter 4 in comparison to where I was on chapter 2. And if you're not, that's what kind of raises the alarms. And I think right now, Nebraska fans, myself, I'm looking at this going, how much better is Nebraska post Minnesota than they were post Michigan? And I don't feel like they've gotten a whole lot better at some things.
Especially the important, obvious, glaring things that were those same issues.
The same deficiencies that were showing up against Michigan are showing up against Minnesota. And if they consistently lose you games and you're unable to, number one, identify or unable to evolve and improve, then yeah, that's when you start to question some of the coaching decisions.
John Butler said something to that effect yesterday as well. It really just boiling down to one specific play. Butler said the same run that hit us last week against Minnesota was the same run that hit us against Michigan. Mm-hmm. Okay. And I think you can take that one of two ways. Number one, Nebraska knows what the issue is and Nebraska is not correcting it, or Nebraska can't correct it. Some people say, well, why is Nebraska running the 4-3? Get some more beef on the field and fill your gaps and stop the run. I'm with Jay. Does it really matter? No, because Nebraska's been good against the run for 2 years in a 3-3-5. So let's get that thought out of there. Okay, so then you go to John Butler, who's not changing his scheme. Maybe he can be a little bit more aggressive, but he says, and Jay agrees, that the playing defense, especially against the run, is about attitude more than scheme. Okay, well, can you change a player's attitude? Maybe, but that's a light bulb thing. Light bulb comes on at different times for different people. So you can work on instilling mindset. You can practice differently, but until that light bulb turns on, for one guy, it might be at a different time than someone else. And if you don't have not just the 11 guys on the field playing with that light bulb switched on, but the guys that are going to come in for him in a couple plays, in a couple series, whatever it is, that light bulb hasn't switched on as a unit, well, then you're just going to keep getting beat by outside zone until you don't, which then goes back to, I think, ultimately, the identity. We knew from the offseason conversations, from looking at the personnel, Nebraska could struggle to stop the run because of how the defensive line looked, because of what they lost, because of what they had or didn't have in the linebacker room. Nebraska went out and got a whopping one portal linebacker who is an up transfer, who has not made a huge impact. I think it's fair to say Marquise Watson-Trent right now.
Yeah.
But also, this is one of those things that I brought up on Monday, and I think it's still true, at least in my head, and you can talk me out if I'm wrong. But because Nebraska football doesn't have an identity, doesn't know who it is, doesn't know who it wants to do clearly and cleanly like Minnesota, they're always going to struggle when they go up against a team with the opposite identity, right? Why was Nebraska able to beat Michigan State? Why was Nebraska able to beat Maryland? Well, it's because those teams played much more similarly to Nebraska, because Nebraska knew the kind of game that it was in. It was a Nebraska style of game for how this team is built. A little bit back and forth, offenses on display. That wasn't Minnesota.
Yeah.
Minnesota imposed its will on Nebraska. Plain and simple, start to finish. Nebraska got its butt kicked because Nebraska didn't have the answers, because Nebraska didn't know who it was. I brought this up in the context of Nebraska men's basketball. They are who they are. They're running the same stuff. They have their roles filled. The thing for Nebraska basketball is that they're better at it. They're more established in it, so that when they face an athletic BYU team, they know where their pressure points are. They know where their weak spots are, and they have a plan for how to attack those weak spots. If you're still figuring out who you are as a program, who you are as a play caller on offense or defense, you're still trying to figure out you, let alone, what your blind spots are where someone else is going to hit you, which is both a reason and an excuse. It's, again, why you go get, quote unquote, veteran coordinators to try to shortcut some of that. But plain and simple, it didn't happen.
I want to continue this conversation on the other side. And I want to bring up some specific comments that were made by Nebraska's coordinators on Tuesday. We'll do that on the other side of this break. 93.7 The Ticket, theticketfm.com.
From the capital to castles. Starting this December, fly nonstop from Lincoln to Orlando with service from Breeze Airways. That's right, nonstop flights to Orlando out of LNK are starting this December. You're now just a flight away from Disney World, Universal Studios, Legoland, and the Space Coast. Stretch out and relax on Breeze with complimentary family seating. Book your magical getaway now at LincolnAirport.com. LNK, make flying easy.
Sometimes good people make mistakes. When you find yourself in need of an attorney, call Liberty Law Group. The attorneys at Liberty Law Group will defend you in court and protect your freedom to get you the best possible outcome and the justice you deserve. Trust your freedom to Liberty Law Group, the best criminal attorneys in Nebraska and Iowa. Call them today at 877-404-5238. That's 877-404-5238. Or check them out online at libertylawgroup.com.
This is your year, where your team takes it all the way. Win way more than bragging rights at Warhorse Casino, where your love of the game could put $1 million in your pocket. The Pro Football Frenzy is free to play with prizes all season long. Weekly cash prizes up to $1,000 cash, season-long leaderboards, and a chance to win $1 million. Only at Warhorse Casino. Wagers may only be placed on Nebraska-based teams when played outside the state of Nebraska. Must be 21 or older to gamble. Gambling problem? Call 1-833-BET-OVER.
Hi, Sean Callahan here, and I've got some great news for you. Copple Chevrolet GMC is proud to be the #1 fastest growing GMC dealer in the Omaha and Lincoln metros. Copple is also celebrating its 50th anniversary. We want to say thank you to all of our customers that have helped us reach these milestones. So come see why so many customers, including myself, are choosing Copple Chevrolet GMC for their automotive needs. Please check us out at copplecars.com.
MWR is dedicated to building attractive, affordable steel buildings that exceed your expectations. From commercial to residential to agriculture storage, steel buildings are cost-effective, attractive, and versatile. Plus, they're a lasting investment and an ideal choice. MWR uses Sentinel Building Systems out of Albion and can service you all over the state and region. If you have interest in a steel building, post-frame building, or fencing, give MWR a call today at 402-980-5273 or go to mwrbuildingandfence.com.
Rashawn Jackson here for Bauer Infrastructure, a veteran-owned local company proudly serving Lincoln, Lancaster County, and the surrounding areas. Bauer provides quality work at an affordable price, and they're growing rapidly. If you want to experience a career with a fast-paced, family-friendly environment, visit BauerInfrastructure.com. They have top-of-the-line benefits, year-round work, even through the winter. Bauer, usher in the new era of infrastructure to an area near you. And as always, go Big Red!
When it comes to concrete, Stevens & Smith Construction doesn't stall. They go for the takedown. As Nebraska's full-service concrete contractor, they stay in bounds, hold inside position, and never forfeit quality. Whether it's foundations, flatwork, or concrete coatings, they elevate performance and pin down results that win every time. Stevens & Smith Construction is a proud sponsor of Takedown Tuesdays on 93.7 The Ticket. Because when it's time to wrestle with concrete, Stevens & Smith Construction slams expectations.
Mike, the insurance company wants us to replace the roof.
Wait, what? I thought everything was fine.
Yeah, it says right here our roof is too old and they won't be able to cover us anymore.
I guess it is 15 years old. Hi, I'm Austin with Roofing Service Company. We help homeowners with their roofing and siding projects. Financing options are available, and we can get you under a new roof no time at all. If this sounds like you, visit roofingservicecompany.com. That is roofingservicecompany.com.
Bonsall Pool & Spa's annual Spooktacular sale is here. Now through November 1st, get an extra $1,000 off hot tubs at an already low sale price and get $500 off the already low sale prices on infrared and traditional saunas. All hot tub water care products and accessories are also for sale for the Spooktacular sale, now through November 1st at Bonsall Pool & Spa at 33rd and Highway 2. Call for more info at 402-488-0148 or visit bonsallpool.com. A lot of businesses say they're family focused, but when tough situations in life arise, the business wants anything but your best interests. James Enterprise Incorporated is hiring, and they will always treat their employees like family, just as they do their customers. James Enterprise Incorporated is hiring Class A and B CDL drivers, a shop tech, and a diesel mechanic. If you're looking for a career with a company that goes above and beyond to value you and your family, apply today at jamesenterpriseinc.com or call 402-432-6740.
Fall is here, and so are cooler temps, darker evenings, and slick roads. Does Is your vehicle ready for the change in seasons? At A1 Automotive, we've got you covered. From tire checks, brake inspections, batteries, and heater systems, we make sure your car is road ready for the Nebraska winters ahead. Don't wait until the first frost. Schedule your fall car care checkup today and drive with confidence all season long. A1 Automotive, always honest answers.
Prepare for the Maximum Fun Tour. A day to remember. Yellow Card. Pinnacle Bank Arena. Friday, October 31st. Special guests, The Wonder Years and Dinosaur Pile-Up. Tickets on sale now at Ticketmaster.com. The Maximum Fun Tour. A day to remember. Yellow Card.
When your home fills up with family, Allo Fiber makes sure that space is a happy place for everyone. Allo Fiber experts install it all, and full service means step-by-step support, guiding you through everything so you can stay connected to what matters, and the family can always feel at home. Put the game on, and don't worry about your Wi-Fi calling a timeout. Better TV and internet service is one connection away. Call Allo at 866-481-2556 or visit allofiber.com.
Rick Heyman here from Sartor Heyman Jewelers. I want to personally thank our great customers for voting us once again the best of Lincoln. At the same time, we're celebrating our 120th year in business in the great state of Nebraska. You can count on Sartor Heyman for the very best quality, value, and customer service. When it comes to your jewelry needs, visit us at South Point, Grand Island, and the Outlet in downtown Lincoln. Visit us today at SartorHeyman.com, and thank you for your continued trust after all these years.
Now back to the drive with Aaron Davis and Nick Sainer, sponsored by Doors Plus on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
I was telling Austin during the break. Well, Austin actually asked the question if he should give iced coffee a try. He said he can't do the warm coffee stuff. Is that right? You can't do hot coffee?
I just can't. I'm not a warm drinks guy in general.
Okay, see, and I'm very much in line with that, unless it's hot coffee. And now I've said it on the air before. It needs to be like below a certain temperature for me to want hot coffee. Like today, it was 37 this morning in my drive into work and stuff. So it's cold. It was chillier, right? But I still went with the iced coffee. Like it's got to be throughout the entire course of the day under 35, 40 degrees and stuff. And thankfully, it's still going to be warming up. You know, we're going to be in the mid 60s today. But I was telling Austin that like last winter, I was able to keep it in moderation. Like I was able to keep the hot coffee intake in moderation. I'm telling you, I don't know if it's because it's the mill and it's incredibly delicious. I am concerned at how much I'm going to drink this winter when it comes around, because I mean, I'm going to be full into coffee mug, keep it here, wash it daily, and enjoy 3 to 4 cups of coffee a day.
I have gotten the reputation as the Diet Mountain Dew guy around here.
Very much so.
And I wear that badge proudly with great honor. And I think the reputation of Mountain Dew is, oh, that's the hard stuff. It's so edgy. It's out there.
Well, it's the color.
It is the color.
It's the color.
Branding.
The color makes it look so aggressive.
It is, and it does. But here's the thing. It has less coffee in one of these 20 ounces than one of your cups.
Okay.
At
well,
least according to science. So
I'm not concerned about caffeine intake.
No. I'm just saying, sometimes I get in this like, oh, am I killing myself faster?
Yeah.
Because I drink all this Diet Mountain Dew and all these fake chemicals.
I'm going to die 30 years younger.
But is my heart in trouble because of the caffeine that I drink? But I'm within the normal range.
Okay.
So I'm fine.
What are you at? 1 a day?
1 to 2. Give or take.
1 or 2 a day?
Yeah. But even then, like
wow,
for guys our age and our general demographic,
yes,
25 to 27 for the two of us and even beyond, like you can go up to 400 and be fine. That's like the maximum like daily intake before you start getting into problems. I'm in that 150 to 250 range probably.
Okay. Well, we unnamed texter says, "Do you guys have coffee mugs for merchandise?" We do. Come on into the mill. Come on into the mill. They got them all. They have a great big shelf here with everything, and you can grab yourself some merch there as well. Hazelbear says, my wife's coffee is so hot
It would burn her soul away. And we're not going to say the rest of that. Nice job, Hazelbear. You got me. But either way, so yeah, that was just something that came up during the break. Let's dive into Nebraska football again. And I wanted to get to this specific answer from John Butler real quick. And we can kind of work this into, Austin, the conversation we were having during the break about the offense versus the defense and the 6 points versus the 24 points here. But I want to get to this specific answer from John Butler, Nebraska's D coordinator, on the tackling issues.
Yeah, there was too many times where I know it was brought to my attention that Coach Rule made the comment about us diving on the ground, and we were doing that. And we don't teach low target tackling. Some teams do. We teach basically you run through the near hip, body on body, chest on chest, run through your target, take the extra steps. So when we started doing that, that was something we were trying to get corrected on the sideline. Just that's not what we want to do. We want to be able to run through our targets and get population to the football. So
it was interesting because Matt Rule told us on Monday, like they tackle every day. Like John Butler was telling us, like obviously they thud on some days, on Tuesdays, Thursdays. No, they tackle on Tuesdays, Thursday. They tackle on Tuesdays and Thursdays, thud the rest of the week. It's like, that's fine. Like, I don't doubt Nebraska's doing it. It's the how they're doing it. That is what, over these last 4 weeks, it's like, are there adjustments that need to be made in how you are practicing?
And who they're doing it against.
Yes.
Nick, what was our big gripe for Nebraska the first few weeks of the year? Where's the yards after catch?
Mm-hmm.
Where's the tackle breaking ability? And I was in that boat.
Yeah.
I was. So it's great if the defense can wrap up against Nebraska's guys in practice. But that's another one of those situations that you want it to be 50-50. You want your defense to prove that they can tackle well.
Mm-hmm.
But you also got to have dudes on offense that can make your defense look like it tackles very poorly from time to time. And I would think, I would guess, I would hope Nebraska's skill core is more athletic than Minnesota's has more of that ability.
I think it's more athletic than Nebraska's had in the last 5 to 10 years.
Absolutely. So if you're getting a better look in practice, even if it's just 2 or 3 times a week, does it all just go out the window once you're between the white lines? Are you a gamer? Are you a gamer? Can you lock in for 55 plays?
That's exactly going back to the first segment of the show, is to when things go awry, you tell us all about how they're going to lean back on the training and the whole cliche reference of like, trust your training and be prepared in the week. So that way, when adversity hits on Saturday, you know how to react, right?
Mm-hmm.
All of that. It's different, but there's difference between talking about it and actually being able to do it. And that's where I don't know if it's a case of coaching. I don't know if it's a case of players executing. It might very well be a little bit of both. But something like this is, once again, like the Matt Rule stuff through it all, like whether it's the off the field Penn State rumors, whether it's the on field fundamentals or lack of discipline from offensive line, Donovan Raiola, Dana Holgorsen, or Dana Holgerson's a perfect example of like, I don't doubt that Dana looks at this offense and goes, you know what? We probably should run the ball because it's something that we've done successfully, right? But then in the moment and in the game, you look up and you see a 14-6 ball game. And I think guys are wired to where they go, man, we have some skill guys on the outside. We have Dylan Raiola who's a pretty serviceable quarterback, to say the least. We can get this back in one play. And it's like this innate just like desire and temptation to try to hit the big one. When in a game like Minnesota on Friday, that was not going to happen.
The most pointed comment that Matt Rule made toward John Butler was about, we called a vanilla game. The most pointed comment that Matt Rule made about Dana Holgorsen came after he said, I would trust Dana with my life. I trust him with my life. But then later, I believe it was that very same answer. Matt Rule said something to the effect of, at some point, it can't be about, well, this play should work against this coverage and we have it schemed up perfectly. It's not about what we want to do. It's about what can we do. Not in a vacuum, not in theory, in practice. In honest to goodness, mano-y-mano, 11-on-11 football distilled into 11 one-on-one matchups. Can Nebraska do this on this play?
Here's what Matt Rule said about what he wants to see from Coach Holgorsen.
Yeah, I trust Dana with my life to get the ball out.
And I'm not saying he's holding the ball. I'm saying we have to give him plays where
Here's one thing I will say about Coach Rule. I wish it didn't feel like with every answer, especially it's most of the time centered around Dylan Raiola, that he has to like provide these caveats.
Yeah.
I just want him to say it. Like if you know, like so there was the perfect example of like, we got to get out of the hands of the quarterback quicker. Not saying he's holding it too long though. And it's easy to point and look at like, well, they're saying it because it's involving Dylan. But like, I'm tired of the caveats where it's like, hey, I'm not meaning this, but this is what I'm saying. Because in a way you are. Like there's a part to where it's affected, right? So okay, let me just refresh that. And because you notice it a lot with Matt Rule's comments that he provides a lot of caveats so that we can't come here and say, oh well, he also said this. And is this what he's referencing? Is this what he's inferring? Right? If he talks about how Dana needs to get out of the hands of Dylan's hands quicker, is he inferring that hey, Dylan's holding it too long? Like he provides these caveats so that we can't go and misuse his words, I guess. But here's what Matt Rule had to say about what he wants to see from Coach Holgorsen.
Yeah, I trust Dana with my life. We got to get the quarterback to get the ball out. And I'm not saying he's holding the ball. I'm saying we have to give him plays where we were covered a lot of times in the game. Like they matched our routes and there was like nowhere to go with the ball. So like that's why like it's I'm in no way defending anyone. I'm just trying to make sure our team here is like it was everything. And that's why it's not good enough, right? Like we were covered. Then when we did get behind them, we didn't make the play. And then, they blitzed the back. And then, when we played man and they beat us on shallow crosses, then it's like, oh shoot, we better play some more zone. We're supposed to cover the guys and we didn't cover at a high level. So we didn't pressure a ton. They pressured us and we didn't hurt them with it. So then all of a sudden you're like, all right, let's pressure these guys. And so it's just complementary football. It's a little bit of everything. So I think Dana has to go back with his staff and they have to figure out how we can run the football. I mean, football will never change. All I talk to the team about is don't beat ourselves with penalties and missed assignments. Win the turnover battle. We didn't lose it, but we didn't win it. Run the ball, stop the run, protect and affect the quarterback. Win the situations. We're not scoring touchdowns in the red zone. We're not winning third down. It was bad all around. So, I think that I think the biggest thing is, hey, what can we do? Not, hey, this play's really good versus this coverage versus the guy. Like, what can we do? And let's do that. And get Pritchett back.
Let's just stop it there. Because you know what that sounds like is the old mentality of Nebraska football. The mentality that Nebraska fans want to get back to, in my opinion, to where I hear him say, we don't care what the defense is showing. We have confidence in what we run. We have confidence in our ability to execute those plays. We have confidence in our personnel that we put out there for those specific plays as well. And we're going to have success. That's what that comment felt like. Now it's the act on it part. And this is where Matt Rule can instill this identity or thought or belief into the guys. But if his coordinators don't or aren't on the same page, and this isn't me saying, oh, there's disconnect between the coordinators and head coach. But if there is, then how do you expect the guys that spend the bulk of their time with their coordinators and their position coaches to believe what Matt Rule says? And then Matt Rule comes out on Monday and says, there feels like it was a tough time getting these guys ready to go on Friday. There's something weird. I'm going to say this, and hopefully on Saturday I'm proven wrong. There's something weird and very fragile right now within this team and within this coaching staff. I don't have any proof. I don't have any insider knowledge. That's not what I'm saying. It just feels very, very fragile. And that is what concerns me the most. It feels like a house of cards.
Yes. And the important thing is that it feels that way from over here, but it's on those 125 guys in that locker room, that coaching staff, to make sure that's not true.
Yeah.
We had a couple people come after us on the text line. Oh, come on, move from Minnesota. You guys are dwelling on the past. Yeah, you say they got to learn from the past and get better, but stop dwelling on Minnesota. The point is that right now, Minnesota feels like a big deal because of what it could mean. That Nebraska doesn't care to fix its issues, or that Nebraska is incapable of fixing its issues. The best part for Nebraska and for Husker fans is they get another chance on Saturday. Unless the world ends in the next 72 hours.
Please no.
Nebraska's going to strap it up. Nebraska's going to lace them up. They're going to play Northwestern, where they have their first, and not final, but their first chance to prove that Minnesota is not the end. That Minnesota was the off day, that it is the outlier.
Yes.
But at some point, Nebraska's got to put its money where its mouth is. And what I'm going to be monitoring over the next 5 games for Nebraska is if Nebraska, either does or doesn't fix some of the issues. But what we will have a harder time judging if Nebraska doesn't fix the issues is the question, is it because Nebraska can't fix the issues or because Nebraska doesn't want to fix the issues?
Yeah.
Is it physical or is it mental? We will never have a perfect answer, but that's why we play the game, so we can pull the best inferences from them.
And this is where I had problems with Matt Rule's like $30 to $40 million roster comment that he had, because if it's physical, then that can fix a lot of things. But if it's mental, it doesn't.
300, 400.
It does not fix it. And I think a lot of Nebraska's issues are mental. It's not a physical thing. That's the thing that's been plaguing Nebraska. I think we're really getting to something here, Austin. That's not been something that's plagued Nebraska. It's been the mental that's plagued Nebraska. And so you can go out and have all this investment that Nebraska fans do, and have all this investment that with 1890, who's incredible, and the revenue sharing stuff. But that only takes care of the physical. If you're not a good coaching staff and you don't know how to relate and how to
draw it out of your guys,
get it out of your guys on a consistent basis against other formidable opponents, you could spend your entire budget on a roster and it still not be consistent and not be stable to where we feel like right now it is a house of cards.
4 quick bullet points I know we got to get out of here. Number 1, Nebraska is better mentally now than it was 2 years ago.
Fact.
Number 2, Minnesota was a step back in that department. Number 3, growth is not always linear. Number 4, you got another chance, so take a step in the right direction again, because like your head coach said, good teams don't lose 2 games in a row.
You're right. And you can, they can get mad at us, at me and you, Austin, for saying this as well. And the staff can be frustrated with us because we're having honest conversations. We can't control it. We can maybe control the narrative a little bit at times, but the end all be all is what they can do in Memorial Stadium on Saturday, every single week. For these 12 for sure games of regular season action, they have the end all be all narrative making opportunity. We just talk. We just analyze what goes on there. And so you can get behind a microphone and be mad that, media's saying this and media's writing this about you and all that. But ultimately you have all the control.
If we're off base, prove it.
There you go. I would love to be off. I would love nothing more than if Nebraska goes out, wins by 30 this weekend, and we're sitting here going, all right, cool. The rest of the season looks a lot better. So we'll see what happens. Let's wrap up the show when we come back.
Rashawn Jackson here for Bauer Infrastructure, a veteran-owned local company proudly serving Lincoln, Lancaster County, and the surrounding areas. Bauer provides quality work at an affordable price, and they're growing rapidly. If you want to experience a career with a fast-paced, family-friendly environment, visit BauerInfrastructure.com. They have top-of-the-line benefits, year-round work, even through the winter. Bauer, usher in the new era of infrastructure to an area near you. And as always, go Big Red!
With UBT, you've got total control over your money. Like Doug, who runs his game day tailgate like a well-oiled machine.
I got burgers, brats, chicken, dogs, plus all the fixins. And with the UBT Go app, I can track my food spending from anywhere.
Pro move.
They don't call me Grill Sergeant for nothing.
No matter your goals, UBT helps you feel good about reaching them. Union Bank and Trust. Member FDIC.
A lot of businesses say they're family focused, but when tough situations in life arise, the business wants anything but your best interests. James Enterprise Incorporated is hiring, and they will always treat their employees like family, just as they do their customers. James Enterprise Incorporated is hiring Class A and B CDL drivers, a shop tech, and a diesel mechanic. If you're looking for a career with a company that goes above and beyond to value you and your family, apply today at jamesenterpriseinc.com or call 402-432-6740. For remote starters, audio upgrades, and more, there's only one place to go.
Auto Sounds of Lincoln at 48th and O.
Football game days are fun for the whole family, but not every child is ready for 4 quarters in the stadium. That's why the Lincoln Children's Museum offers game day play dates for kids ages 5 to 12. While you enjoy the game, your kids enjoy their own adventure at the museum, conveniently located just steps from the stadium. Registration required. And the fun isn't just on game days. The museum is open 6 days a week with 3 floors of hands-on play and activities. Out-of-town families, make the most of your weekend in Lincoln. Visit LincolnChildren'sMuseum.org.
A business's phone is the lifeline to its customers and potential clients. That's why it's so important that you can take calls seamlessly from anywhere, whether you're on the road or in the office. Hamilton Business Technologies can help ensure your phone rings wherever you are. We can equip your headquarters and any of its locations with the right tools for smooth, professional call handling. As the official business IT partner of the Huskers, we know how to keep Nebraska businesses connected. Learn more at HamiltonIsBusiness.com.
Here at Aspen Builders, our company is building more homes today than I thought we would ever build.
Bob Benish is the founder and president of Aspen Builders, online at aspenbuildersinc.com.
You know, I am just shocked at how strong our market is here in Lincoln and at Aspen Builders. We're probably helping people right now more than ever get into a new home. We've been able to find pieces of ground we can develop affordably and keep our lot prices down a little bit. I think with our volume discounts and our office staff, 35 years of experience, we figure out a plan that's going to work great for you. We make it perfect. We make it fit your price range. All of this is part of the reason we're so busy.
Make your dream home a reality and call Aspen Builders at 423-6811. Online at aspenbuildersinc.com. Your home is waiting at Aspen Builders.
Rick Heyman here from Sartor Heyman Jewelers. I want to personally thank our great customers for voting us once again the best of Lincoln. At the same time, we're celebrating our 120th year in business in the great state of Nebraska. You can count on Sartor Heyman for the very best quality, value, and customer service. When it comes to your jewelry needs, visit us at South Point, Grand Island, and the Outlet in downtown Lincoln. Visit us today at sartorheyman.com, and thank you for your continued trust after all these years.
Mike, the insurance company wants us to replace the roof.
Wait, what? I thought everything was fine.
Yeah, it says right here our roof is too old and they won't be able to cover us anymore.
I guess it is 15 years old. Hi, I'm Austin with Roofing Service Company. We help homeowners with their roofing and siding projects. Financing options are available, and we can get you under a new roof no time at all. If this sounds like you, visit roofingservicecompany.com. That is roofingservicecompany.com.
When it comes to concrete, Stevens & Smith Construction doesn't stall. They go for the takedown. As Nebraska's full-service concrete contractor, they stay in bounds, hold inside position, and never forfeit quality. Whether it's foundations, flatwork, or concrete coatings, they elevate performance and pin down results that win every time. Stevens & Smith Construction is a proud sponsor of Takedown Tuesdays on 93.7 The Ticket. Because when it's time to wrestle with concrete, Stevens & Smith Construction slams expectations.
Electrical Enterprises in Oroka reminds you, the men and women of our military dedicate themselves to serving our country. Their commitment and courage keep our country safe and strong. Let us honor those who have lost their lives in the line of duty and salute those who serve today. This from Electrical Enterprises in Oroka. For all of your residential and commercial electrical construction needs, call 402-438-5822. We live in the land of the free, thanks to the brave.
Now back to The Drive with Aaron Davis and Nick Sainer. Sponsored by Doors Plus on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
One final time on a Wednesday. Austin Norman sitting in for AD. He'll be back tomorrow. Austin will be back tomorrow. AD back on Friday as AD continues his excursion throughout the South Dakota area.
Sodak Circuit.
Sodak Circuit. There it is. He spoke in Omaha yesterday, and then he made the drive up to
I don't know if he's Sioux City. No, it wouldn't be Sioux City, Iowa. It would be Sioux Falls, I think is where he's at. Potentially. Don't quote me on it. Yeah, he sent me a picture of a really nice steak that he was eating last night. And I said, whoa. I said something about the check must have already cashed or must have already cleared and stuff. But anyway, so AD will join me on Friday. Austin's back tomorrow. Plenty of stuff to get to tomorrow. I mean, we will start to turn the page to Northwestern, what we want to see, what we need to see. Looking at NFL, we didn't get any NFL conversation in today as well. And Friday starts World Series game 1 between the Dodgers and the Blue Jays. Mm-hmm. And man, that home run by George Springer 2 nights ago is as electric as you can get. I saw this thing. Since we only have a few minutes, we can dive into this. I saw this post on, it was a video, it was like a cinematic video of George Springer's home run. And the caption was something along the lines of like, imagine being the umpires and you have to stay 100% neutral, but thinking in your mind how sweet this is. And I got that on it. I felt that on like a whole new level because I watched the video and they show no emotion. There's like zero emotion for these umpires. And I get it. Like you're on the job, like you're on the clock. You got to do what you got to do. But imagine what was going through their minds. Late innings, down by 2, and George Springer with 2 runners in scoring positions blasts one over the left field wall, and you just stand there. Like, I mean, the crowd is roaring. It was like 100, and I think the official measurement was like 108 decibels in the Rogers Center for the home run. And it's like, you just stay 100% neutral. You are, emotionless, and you're just there. But in your mind, you're probably thinking, this is so cool.
You have to understand the magnitude of the moment. I'm sure these guys do.
Yeah.
Whether it's some middle of the season, game between 2 division rivals or 2 teams in Seattle and Toronto that have nothing in common with each other, really no shared history at all. To recognize the magnitude of the moment, say, I was there for that. That's one of those, I'm sure as soon as you jog off the field, get out of the Blue Jays way, get out of the Mariners way, you're in your locker room, you're looking at each other, holy crap.
Yeah, right.
What did we just witness? And we have that, in media as we go to games a little bit, we see some really cool stuff for Nebraska against Nebraska.
Yeah.
And having to sit there, it's hard to be in that moment, to see something so cool. It's funny that it happened to the Blue Jays because Springer was calling I don't know if it's the same crew or any of the same guys, but I think everyone wants the Yankees to win the division and making those tough calls against us here at the end of the year. I wouldn't have blamed the umps for reacting. If they see that, they turn and they look, it's like to each other, just mouth it across the infield because my goodness, what a moment for Toronto.
That'll be it for us today. Make sure you stay tuned. Great list of ticket programs coming up here in just a few minutes. Austin, thank you, my friend. We'll be joined by Austin tomorrow morning from 9 to 11. It's The Drive. We will talk to you tomorrow.
Rico here with HIS Auto Care at 70th and Van Dorn, letting you know HIS is a great place to bring you